Waiting for the audio to kick in. Let's get some audio. Okay, sounds like we got some audio. Rock and roll. Cool. And in tonight's live stream, we're going to be talking about how to animate in Photoshop. Pretty cool. Good, lots of tips and tricks tonight for those of you learning a little bit of Photoshop and how to get stuff going. Got Wolf Midnight joining. Hey, Wolf Midnight, how you doing? How's everything going? How was your weekend? Cool. Good to see everybody. I got Buddha Belly here. Woo! All right, we got people joining in. Cool. Hey, just a question to everybody. Um, do you guys see the prompts on YouTube that I'm going live when these things are when the live stream is going on, or do you see it through LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads, or another source? Just curious if you're popping in and you see the live stream based on YouTube and your YouTube bell notification button. Just curious to see if it was useful or not when I'm telling everybody about the live stream. I know I post usually on Instagram and Threads and on LinkedIn too. I didn't know if everybody saw it that way or if you're primarily just seeing it on YouTube. I did not advertise tonight's live stream on Threads and on LinkedIn today, so I didn't know how beneficial that was to do that. So cool. So everybody's doing great. You guys working on your projects, drawing, sketching, getting stuff going. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper. I've been using Photoshop for a really long time, and I enjoy using it. It's sort of my go-to. I've been using it pretty predominantly for all these live streams and stuff. So and helps me out, if I'm doing a rough animatic or something like that. And I'll show you how I use it, and we can do some drawings. I took some of the images that I did on Saturday, and we'll get over on that. So, but before we say hi to everybody, let me just kick off the show and kick off the intro and get into tonight's lesson. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Angeli. I'm a live action storyboard artist, and created this channel. Now it's been past 6 months ago. So we've been going strong for a half year and bringing you content 3 times a week on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I created the channel. I just had a lot of friends. I always tell the story. I had a lot of friends come up to me and say, "Hey, Paulie, why don't you start teaching? I heard you were, a college instructor, and that might be fun. Why don't you give it a try?" And I talked to a lot of people last year, and they were inviting me to get going. I had other professional storyboard artists reach out and say, "Hey, you should start doing that." And we're supporting each other in, you know, uh, trying to communicate and share some knowledge. And I thought this would be a great, great opportunity to share my processes and my story and my journey with you friends out there on YouTube that are interested in storyboarding. And we've been having fun. I can't believe how many live streams we've done. What the numbers is? 76. It just blows my mind. 76 live streams. Each live stream is about a couple hours each, but it just blows my mind of, just I have fun doing these. It's sort of like I said, my quiet time. If you've been watching the live streams, just to sort of hang out with fellow visual storytellers and animators and filmmakers and comic artists and animators, and it's just a blast, and I'm having a great time with this. And I hope you're getting a lot of value out of this and out of these live streams. And I find it a very interesting way. It's not like a Zoom, and I look forward to doing some one-on-one mentoring and some workshops here via other platforms, so we can sort of see each other and talk face to face and have a more lively discussion. It's sort of a little slow with the chat. So if you are a new visual storyteller and you're either somebody that's interested in getting into storyboarding and visual storytelling, whether it be through illustration, comics, animation, feature animation, or live action film, and you're somebody that says, hey, listen, I want to start telling stories. I want to tell my own stories. I want to do my own comics. I want to make my own short films. I want to make, or I'd like to do this professional, and I want to see my name up there on the big movie screen of the projects I'm working on, or a music video, or even if it's just a YouTube video and you're trying to learn how to storyboard out your work. Or if you're somebody that is, hey, listen, I've been storyboarding a little bit. I'm wet behind the ears now, and I know what I'm doing, and I just want to level up my work. I want to get better at my craft. I want to, get more pro, and or somebody that is just interested in watching an artist work. I'd always invite everybody to consider subscribing. By you subscribing, it helps support me and the channel and help this channel grow. So please subscribe. I appreciate it. Click that bell notification button so it lets you know when the next time I post, And right now I'm posting, like I said, 3 times a week on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Posting those 3 times a week. So on Mondays, like days like today, we're talking about our Mastering the Basics, Storyboarding Mastering the Basics series. So this is more of our tutorial how-to session. And so tonight we're going to be talking about how to use Photoshop to animate. Maybe that's the only software program you have. How do you use this to animate that? How can you use this to make an animatic for your storyboards and have more of an animatic in terms of what you're trying to show potential clients or potential employers, or just have fun making your own videos, and then on Thursdays we have our storyboard, you see our sketching after hours session. And sketching after hours, I think sketching, I try to put in time every single day. Today has been a crazy day for me. I've been up since super early this morning and getting going and working and doing all sorts of stuff. And it's, what is it, almost midnight right now over here on the East Coast, and I got to get up early and drive back out to my son's university and drop him back off at the dorms again tomorrow. It's been great having him home for the sort of the Easter break over here for him. It's always a joy. We didn't get to go fly fishing, so I'm sad. Woo, but we've had a lot of things on our plate and been pretty busy getting stuff going. But he snuck out without me today and went and caught a bunch of fish. So it's always good. So I'm happy for him that he got some time off to relax between studies. So Thursdays is our sketching after hours session. I can't express this enough to take your time, have your sketchbook, draw in those sketchbooks. Get that, I like the hardbound sketchbooks. I don't care if you got a moleskin, fancy moleskin, a little notepad, piece of paper, something. Sketch as much as you can. I think having that reference knowledge, that muscle memory, putting in those reps, putting in that practice and pencil mileage, I think is critical to anybody, wanting to do this type of work and have some fun with it. I draw all the time. These are some of my older sketchbooks. I like these because I kept them over a long period of time. And, what is this from? Gosh, this is from 2013. I just can't believe it. These sketches are so old now, and stuff from 2013, and I can go back and look at the work I was doing and where I can go, and I use that as a journal as well. So go back and watch some of those older live streams showing you how to use your sketchbook as a diary, a journal, IP type of sort of collection and stuff. And it's always good to refer back to it. And then on Saturdays, we have our exciting storyboard jam session where we're just sort of going, and I'm going to start toning it back a little bit. One of the things, I've had a few people come out and ask for certain live streams or certain topics. I know one of them that Maria was asking about was how to draw cars and draw solid objects and have some fun with that. That's coming down the road. But one of the things I want to sort of hone back a little bit, and some of the future videos I want to do is go back to the basics. of, you know, breaking down a script, doing your shot list, doing your thumbnailing, the thinking process to filmmaking or animation, and putting your storyboards together. So if that's something you would like to see more, drop it in the chat. Let me know what's going on, and we'll have some fun. So coming to you 3 days a week. Plus, with now having 76 different live streams here, please, there's a wealth of content for you. And yes, it is a lot to watch. Either watch it all, have some fun, or pick and choose sort of a la carte the topics that can give you the most value. A lot of people enjoy the world building. Maybe that might be something that we go even deeper on. And you know, other topics would be, you know, some film language and filmography and films to watch, to study, to learn how to make films or animation, and we can go into those. I'm always open. This is a dynamic channel too, so if you have something cool that you want to cover, drop it in the chat. Let me know. Hey, Polly, let's talk about this. I'd be happy to do that. Last live stream, we were also talking about. A lot of people reached out to me after that live session wanting to do one-on-one sort of meetups, and also a possible workshop in the works, and you know, looking at other platforms to give you more specific and to the point help and training to help you, that you could use those as tools and resources for you to pursue your visual storytelling goals and help you, you know, get this superhuman power to tell your own stories. And whether you might not want to make this as a career, or if you want to, you're trying to get into a university, or if you have your own personal projects and IPs that you're trying to sit there and go, well, you know, I can do that, and you know what? You should. And if there are things that you want to do, go for it, my friend. And hopefully I could be a resource and inspiration for you to finally tackle those stories and those dreams and those goals you had in your journey. So cool. Reach out anytime. I'll leave you with my contact information. You know, let me do that real quick, and then we'll do it one more time at the end. If you're trying to get a hold of me, you can reach me at my email address is mr.paul.angeli@gmail.com. You could also reach me on my website. I have to update that. I need to refresh that thing. But www.paulangeli.com is my main website. And then you can also reach me on Instagram. Just look under my name and you'll find me, and over here on the YouTube channel, and then a lot of friends have hooked up with me via LinkedIn. So that's here for your, you know, feel free, you know, and then also too, if you want, drop a line in the chat, you know, if you want to hook up and talk a little bit more. I'm trying to open up my schedule so I have some time that we can have some scheduled times to hang out and meet, and I'm available to you if that's something that you desire to do. But this is a dynamic live stream, folks, so type your name into the chat. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're watching this on the replay, thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to come and hang out with Polly here. And let's see who's on the live stream right now. So I got Wolf Midnight. We already said hello, and I hope everything's going well with you, Wolf Midnight, and your work is coming along. I got Buddha Belly. I hope everything's going well with you. And then we got Rotem Ezra. So welcome, Rotem Ezra. It just jumps on my YouTube notification. Okay, cool. So thanks for getting the feedback stuff. So I know what Buddha Belly's been working on and Wolf Midnight's been working on. But Rotem, you know, nice to see you. I haven't seen you on the stream before, but what are you working on? What is your focus? So drop it in the chat. Let me know. And for those others that are just hanging out in the live stream, thanks for watching. Don't be shy. Type your name into the chat. Say hello. These are other fellow folks hanging out, and everybody get to meet each other and stuff. We'll probably have more people drop in as the night progresses a little bit. But let's kick things off and talk about our topic that we're going to be going over today. So I love Photoshop. I've been using Photoshop you know, since its sort of creation in the late 80s. I used to teach it in college, and you know, that was my main class I taught quite a bit of. You know, for people getting into the graphic design, sort of multimedia, and having fun with that. I tend to use this my sort of go-to. I like there's certain drawing programs. There's so many drawing programs out there, from Painter to just so many different, Clip Studio Paint. There's so many different drawing programs, and I haven't really gotten into the Procreate. Looking forward to doing that with the iPad Pro and getting into that sort of schema of drawing. But I tend to default to Photoshop. I've been using it so long; it's just easy. I got everything set up, properly for me, and then sometimes I port or I'll work in a different storyboard software if that's required by the client to work that way. But I enjoy it. There's a lot of features. The drawing tools are pretty decent, and right now for these live streams, I've been just using your solid, round hard brush, nothing fancy. Sometimes I'll use into some of the other brushes and stuff just to get some whiz in there and have some fun. But I tend to get going with that, and that sort of sticks with me. So one of the last live streams we did on Photoshop, we talked about layer comps, and layer comps has the ability through layer comps to save everything on that layer or the layers that you have up when you're doing your storyboarding, and it's a cool trick, and you can export those out too as your storyboard frames. And another tactic within Photoshop is using the timeline in your window timeline to go ahead and create an animatic. You can port it out as a video. You could also port it out and export as the individual frames as well, depending on how complicated your sequence is when you're putting your storyboards together. I tend to do it to do some rough animatics. I love animation, and I got my start back. There was no information available, and so I started off learning how to animate in this book called the Disney animation, The Illusion of Life. This book is quite old now. It's just showing my gray now. But this book in itself, and I remember picking it up, with my cousin out in Berkeley, California, and getting the opportunity to read through that, and that's sort of how I taught myself animation. Uh, you know, because I did not go to an art university and stuff. So very cool stuff. Learned a lot of principles. Those principles I've taken on to whether I was working on video game projects, animation projects, and I still take it today into my storyboards. So we're going to show some tips and tricks on how to use Photoshop to create your animations. I don't think we'll have enough time tonight to do a full animatic, but I'll show you some of the strategies through Photoshop and to get that stuff done. So Rhoda Mesra says, I'm an animation student. I found out that some animators prefer to animate in Photoshop rather on rather than professional animation programs because the tool they like to draw on. Yeah, I think I would say I'm the same way, Rhoda. I enjoy drawing in Photoshop. I've been doing it so long, and pretty much I'm using my my Cintiq HD right here in front of me, in front of my computer here. I have my bigger full screen 24-inch Wacom I also use too, because I think there's a little bit of difference when I'm traveling and stuff. Using the smaller Wacom is just, it's very cramped to me. I like big strokes moving around and seeing the screen big, and in terms of what I'm doing. But I agree with you, Rodham. I enjoy drawing in Photoshop. I use Painter quite a bit too. I enjoy Painter, but it's what gets going, and I usually port this over into other pieces of software to get my start and get rolling. Okay, let's head over to Little Polly. Cool, and everybody can see that. Cool. So this is my sort of course here, and my sort of our live stream tonight is how to animate in Photoshop, and this is part of our Mastering the Basics series. Cool. Let me take a sip of my drink. While we're at it, Rodham, where are you going to school? Where are you from? First of all, where are you from, and where are you going to school? Okay, so I got my thing here. I have my bounding box here. Let me turn that off real quick. Um, uh, Pretty much when I'm laying out, I think I talked about this on Saturday. When I'm laying out my screen here, I'm using usually a HD. I'm 300 DPI and 1920 by 1080 in terms of the resolution and the screen size that I'm using. Excuse me for this. Um, I tend to, when I'm working a lot, and on the computer, I usually just throw up a black layer on here, and I just simplify it as 50% black. I can go 25% black if I want to. I just do that so it cuts down on the glare when I'm drawing and stuff. So that's sort of the tactic I use. Sometimes I'll throw on, and like here I'll have a letterbox. Some borders on there. I'll do something like that too as I'm working to sort of see what I'm doing. And you can sort of see here, and that's sort of my sort of go-to standardization and stuff. And I could always get fancier, but today we're going to keep it sort of simple as we're talking about how to animate, and a couple different ways to do that. So right here, let's see. Cool. Israel and Sapir College, third year. Usually work on TV Paint, Photoshop, and Toon Boom. Yeah, those are all key pieces of software everybody's been using. Rotom, cool. Well, congratulations, third year, man. One more year to go, and you're right there. Congratulations. Keep going. Keep going. I hope that the channel, if you're new to the channel, I hope there's a lot of great information for you to learn here. Yeah, TV Paint. Know a lot of folks that are really good at TV Paint. Enjoy working with that. Photoshop, and of course Toon Boom. A lot of companies using Toon Boom. So, and a lot of companies also do Photoshop too. So, okay. So this is sort of how I have my screen set up. I got some layers in here and stuff. And let me see here. And I'm just gonna go, and I'm gonna sort of. I started drawing a little bit to get some stuff going on here, but I'm just going to warm up a little bit. I'm going to dial this down a little bit and just warm up on a frame a little bit, get my drawing chops going here, and just sort of have some fun. Just warming up. Sometimes what I do is I'll just do a quick sketch, and I'll just throw an under drawing into it and have some fun, and just sort of, you know, do my thing a little bit. Just practice. Like I said, I just use a hard brush in terms of what I'm doing here. Yeah, no problem, Rotom. E-boy, you're actually very underrated. Your knowledge is priceless, It was very helpful to me. Yeah, of course. Happy to help you out. You know, I remember getting into the craft of animation and getting this stuff going on for myself. And I didn't have a mentor. You know, I didn't go to an art college. I took some art classes, but I didn't go to an art college. And I wanted to at the time, but I went to the college, a university I was going to because I wanted to become a doctor of all things, you know, and uh, and so I think that the story goes is I had a friend and he's like, well, take this computer class with me. I guess he was shy and didn't want to take it, you know, because at the time computers were there as engineering and stuff like that, but not a lot of people were, you know, doing computer animation was just its infancy. I remember first piece of 3D software I used was called Swivel 3D, just to learn, you know. And I took the one I was planning on becoming a doctor, and my buddy got me into this class, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll try it out. And man, I fell in love with it, and got into it like hook, line, and sinker. And at the time, there was no animation program, and so I was using Macromedia Director, and using that to tell my stories. And I learned how to animate. You know, when it came to animation, I was checking out a lot of the Edward Muybridge. If you've seen any of his photography work, and you know, his work is, you know, doing the stop frames of horses and people and everything, and that to me was monumental in terms of learning how to animate, sort of you know, how to do that. And that was really cool for me. So I'm just warming up right now and just sort of drawing. I just have some fun with this. And just you know, for me, I love sketching. I love warming up. I love practicing. You know, the work I'm doing. Just trying new things. So let's give her. Just having fun with this. Wanted to, I can create another layer. Just having fun here. Just warming up. what I'm drawing and just go for it. Just add one more layer in here. Been painting a lot lately. I don't know what you guys have been up to, but just trying different stuff and just going. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened? Boo. That's what's good about layers. Try that one more time. Got to get into the topic of animation, so I'll do that shortly here. Just having fun. Cool, we can go to town on that. Let me throw a quick little save. Boom. Okay, let's get into the topic because I'm sort of getting into our sketching after hours session here. So let's grab these. I'm going to create a quick little layer or a group of layers. Okay, I'm going to call this princess. Done. Okay, cool. So just having fun here. Okay, cool. So let's turn that off and let's just talk about Photoshop. In terms, let's get into tonight's lesson and have some fun. Just wanted to warm up the hand a little bit there and get going. So, okay, I'm going to throw a question out there to you guys and gals and guys out there. Are you using, do you use Photoshop? Have you ever used Photoshop to animate before? If this is your first time, let me know in the chat. Throw it up in the chat. Appreciate that. And let's get into it. So, cool. Okay, so right now, like I said, I have my Photoshop file here, and for what we're doing here, close that one down. I don't need that anymore. These were my initial. No, I don't want to save that. We don't want to send all my initial drawings. Okay, so we're right here right now, and like I said, when I'm usually drawing, I'm using 1920 by 1080 as my screen. I'll go ahead and just add a either a 50% or 25% background gray, so my eyes don't get crazy. I'll throw a letterbox in there too, and then I'll go from there. So if we want to animate, there's a few different ways we can do this. I usually pull up here on Window and pull up the timeline. And I hope you can see this timeline. Let's see here. Can you see the timeline? So I'm going to wait for a second. See if this pops up for you. I hope you guys can see it. Let me see here. I'm waiting for my screen to catch up here on the live stream just to see it. Okay, cool. We can see the timeline. Okay, so on the timeline, this is a great feature. I'm going to be right here where it says create video timeline, and I'm going to click that real quick. Boom, and then I can create a video timeline. Okay, and so what we're seeing is each frame in here. If we were doing a frame animation, would be right here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can sort of see it. This right now is showing all the windows that I have open on my layers here in terms of what I'm doing here. And we can work a few different ways within this file here of what we're doing here. I had that one group of the princess layer turned on, here I got a bunch of different layers on here right now. And this is just showing you have your timeline. We have our playback heads over here, and each of these layers are set up right here. Okay, I have some windows over here, so I have it on loop playback. Let me see here. Frame skipping. Let's set our frame rate over here. I got it 30 frames a second. Let's go to like 12 frames a second in terms of our animation. We'll do it as a 12 frame, not a 24 or 30 frame. We would do that right here. There's a little control panel. If you click over here, you can see that right here, and you have some basic, frames over here. We want to enable the shortcut keys. That's enabled right now. If that wasn't enabled, and then we should be able to use our cursor here to move between the frames, in terms of what we're doing here. So, okay. So one of the ways I use this this system too is, let's see, let's go like this. We'll put it there. I'm going to delete some of these layers in here. You'll see those disappear a little bit. Delete that princess. Just trying to simplify our drawing here. Let's just delete these layers, keep it really clean and simple so we can show this. Okay, so this is the basics of what we have at this point in time. So I have these two in here, and if I was to go up on right here and create a new layer, that layer would show up right here. Okay. And over here, I can either get bigger, smaller in terms of what I'm doing here too, so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So this is going at 12 frames a second, and then what I can do here too is if you're trying to do like keyframe animation, this would be sort of the keyframe animation for what you're trying to do here. And so if I was to create a second layer, sometimes I just offshoot it. Like I can expand this off. So these two frames will just stay through the whole sequence, and then here I can, in between these two frames here, I can do my animation or whatever I'm doing. So So if I was doing animation with this, let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, we got it right there. So if I'm doing like an animation or something like that, minimize this a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Okay. I want to make sure we could see this. Has it disappeared on the screen? I can't quite tell. There it is. Okay, so I guess I have to keep it somewhere on here. Oh, I see it disappearing just to base how this is going right now. How about we... if I keep it over here. Yeah, this is going to be difficult to do. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure we can see it. Okay, so I have this layer 3 here that we're working on. So let's draw something on there. And now if I was drawing on this layer, let's just say we were doing some sort of, mountainous terrain, some sort of planetary thing here. We're drawing on this frame here. We're doing our storyboard. Just really quickly throwing this together. Maybe we just add a little bit of... it would be even quicker than that. Just use the lasso tool. Just grab that mountain range. And just do a quick little fill. Doop. Oops. Okay, so say we have this here, and we're just trying to show the frames, and we're on frame 1, frame 2. And maybe we have a character that's looking at us. So I go to, and what the difference is now I have to go into each layer to modify these layers. So if I wanted to go to a different shot, and I wanted some sort of character here, that we were going to. it's on that same terrain, type of thing. And if we're going between the two shots, you can sort of see the animatic coming to life between these two shots. So we're going between these two layers right now. And if I were to play it on the playback head, we could simplify this a little bit down too. That's pretty fast. You can sort of see how this is working together, and we could actually expand these shots too to give some greater and you can sort of see here. So let's try this again. So you can sort of see that play. So if I was able to add a third shot, so let's just say we took this shot, we'll duplicate this layer, and we're trying to zoom in on this particular character here. I can just go edit, transform, scale. Let's do that one more time. Let's duplicate him again. We just wanted to pan in on his eyes. We got to move that head, the play head there. Okay, so if we're looking at this now, let's zoom back in. Okay. Put that right there. Let's rewind that. And you can sort of see the animation playing out. You can sort of see the timeline there going through. We're making an animation here. So if you think about it this way, you can create your animatic for what you're doing here. You can sort of see the animatic playing for yourself, and you're just working on your timing of your frames of what you're trying to do. So what I'm showing here right now, let me stop this real quick. Let's shrink that down a little bit. Then we can just get it right to here. Get that playhead like that. Rewind it. And you can sort of see the playback head going. Now you sort of have a moving animatic. And if I wanted to show a panning shot or something like that, I could go and let's say we want to I can highlight these 3 layers. I can move them over even more. And let's move this layer here. And then what I could do is I can change the position of this, and you could create some keyframes here. So if my playhead started right there, I can start a position there. I can move my playhead over here. To right there. And then what I could do is grab that sequence. Oops. Let's put that back there. So I have a keyframe right here, and then I can move my playhead. And I should be able to move that, and that should create like a tween. Okay, so if I move this here over off to the side, and then I rewind and play, now you can sort of see, you know, the shot moving. We sort of got a dolly shot going on there, you know, as we're moving. We can do something like that. And I can extend out that background and make that even longer. Now we're tweening between the keyframes for our animatic. So you can either do it by keyframe, or you can use the computer to tween that up. Or what I could have done too I can delete those, okay? Or I can do something like this, where this position is here, on the keyframe there, move the playhead back again, go right there, and we can do the same type of thing. So instead of being there, we can edit, transform, scale that, and zoom it in too. So then we would let's try that one more time. Go backwards. Let's try like that. Boom. Get the keyframe there. See if this will. Missing a step here. Maybe it's because it's changing shape. Got a mistake here somewhere. It ain't working earlier. Come on, computer. I guess I'm changing the original object. So I guess I can't change I have to change the shape dynamics. This is what we were trying to do there. Okay. Let's make that bigger. We can sort of see what we're doing. So I can move it. You can sort of see that here as that's going along. So Johnny asks, do you normally do animation, or is that for a junior artist? Um, to me, I work as a contractor, as a consultant, feature film storyboard artist. So to me, it sort of depends on the project that I'm working on, and there's a lot of debate about um, storyboard artists and how much do you animate and how much do you not animate in terms of the projects that you're working on. And it's a good question, you know, and you know, where storyboarding and you know, animation are sort of infusing a little bit. And you can see that something like in a huge action animation series. One that comes to mind is the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a show like that where they're just almost fully animated. The storyboards in an animatic form. I think it all depends on the client or the director that you're working with and what they want to see. A lot of the times it's just the storyboard frames. They just want the frames. Sometimes I like working in a timeline or animation style like this. Helps me to see the movie in my head, and other than just seeing just a all the frames on one page, yeah, I can follow it. Just like most portfolios, when you're showing your work, allowing the client or the person reviewing your work to click through each of your shots. They want to see that because not everybody is good at timing or editing and those type of aspects when it comes to the visual narrative, you know. And so you know, there's a lot of things to consider to what you're doing. I've edited a lot of films and music videos and all that type of stuff. So, you know, I enjoy editing as well. You know, so I tend to sort of think like a filmmaker when I'm doing my storyboards. It's just something I do. You know, I want to see it move, action. You know, is it working or not? Am I entertained? Would the audience be entertained with the composition? Is the story being told? Is just a little bit extra work on my end, and just depending on the scale and the turnaround time for a storyboard project, you know, it all depends. So no, I don't use a junior artist, you know, in terms of what an animator with what I'm doing. I would assume maybe in a studio setting, you can do that, or if there's somebody I'm working with that I subcontract to, you know, and I'm working with them. Maybe yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, Johnny, but a good question, you know. So okay, so this is one way to use animation, and like I said before, and let me turn my big poly off. But before I do, hey, listen, if you friends out there on YouTube, if you're enjoying the content, you're getting something out of this, you're learning. I'm trying to keep it really simple right now because I can get super complicated real quick. But I'm trying to keep it simple so you have some tools here. So if you already have Photoshop, and that can give you some help and help you with your animatic. If you have to put an animatic for class or your other stuff, you sort of get the idea of how to use Photoshop in that way. And then all you would do is export out in Photoshop, you know, either the final you know, video, or you want to you know, then possibly port it into another Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve or something like that, and then you can add some audio that way too for what you're doing. Yeah, no problem, Johnny. Anytime. You know, for what you're doing. So there's different ways you can animate in Photoshop. This tactic that we're just showing was, in a sense, is more keyframe. So if you're doing the the animation, you'll have to change the layer and move that layer or add to that layer, add multiple layers. And we could do a couple more here just to show what we're trying to say here in terms of what we're doing. But that's the sort of the way you would work with this particular strategy. We'll also do a video, uh, you know, layer too, so we can show you how would you do this and sort of more of a quick animation sort of way you could work in terms of how you can execute those animations too. This one I use a lot when I'm just sort of, because I just want to see roughly how is the images moving, how's it going, how does it look, does it grab my attention, and I think it's a fun way to look at your storyboards in motion there, and provide something, you know, because sometimes there might be an animatic editor brought into the scenario, and where we're delivering all of our storyboards, and all those hundreds of storyboards are being collected, all file named, and that animatic editor will cut in, you know, put some rough audio track, rough background music, rough soundtrack to it, some special effects, you know, to the audio, and sort of give the director, hey, this is what it's sort of looking like, you know, how do you feel, you know, and gives you some other platforms to push the creative process and the visual narrative of the story you're trying to tell. If you're getting some great value out of this particular live stream, I hope you are, and please consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to give me a quick little like and a quick little comment on this particular live stream. It helps tell the YouTube algorithm, hey, we want to see more work from Polly. We want to get it out to more visual storyteller and other artists out there. So even if it's just a happy face emoji, a little heart emoji, something like that, I'd really appreciate that. You know, to help you know, promote the channel. And like I said at the beginning, I'm looking forward to getting some other ways that you and I can connect, whether it would be one-on-one mentoring. You know, I'm also planning a workshop soon, and trying to get all the details put together for that, and having some other content. A lot of people ask me to go over to Gumroad or Patreon, so we can get a little bit more deeper into the craft of visual storytelling. So hang tight. Stuff is coming on. Always great to hear feedback too. So drop it into the chat if we're following along right now live, or if you are catching this on the replay. Just to drop either, yeah, I'll leave you with my contact information, or drop it into the actual live stream. I'd appreciate that. So let's get back onto Photoshop here. Turn Big Paul off. I always forget about that. So like we were showing here, we have our timeline here. We were showing this sort of strategy of you know, moving the screen here. Whoop, let me move that over a little bit so you can sort of see what we're doing. And you can sort of see how we're animating, and it's so simple to do that. And that was very quick to do, and throwing on there. And then if we wanted to add another layer with this type of scenario, we would just continue adding those layers in. And I could put that right there. You can see me working with a timeline right now. Yeah, we're going to do that in a second, Rotom. I'm going to show you how to do a video layer, and you'll be able to, and we're going to show you a little bit of how to draw, you know, instead of using keyframes, we'll do it frame by frame, and we can do some onion skinning and have some fun with that. So just hang tight. And you know, the other thing you could do too is if you're trying to do something like this too, you can go simply grab that image, or this particular, and then we can create a grouped video layer, And you can do the same thing so your layers don't get crazy. And that should do the same type of thing here too. So now you have one. You can create with this, even with this keyframe type of animation, you can create it all on one layer there. You can sort of see that there, so we don't have to have all the individual steps. And if we want to hang on a particular keyframe, let me pull this back up so you can see this. So if I want to hang on that last frame, I can actually just elongate that frame a little bit longer. And do something like that. Let me just put this to the side here so we can still see it. Let me rewind it. And you can sort of see everything all together. So there's a lot of different tips and tricks. Like if I want to hang on that frame a little bit more, have them blink or something, and then with that layer 5, you know, right here, maybe there's a let me just draw something else in there so you can sort of see. I'm just thinking out loud. You can sort of see here. So let's just say I have that layer here. Can't necessarily see it. Let's duplicate that guy. Or what I could do is pop him out. This would be sort of like an onion skin type of strategy here. Oops. You can sort of see the So if you think about that like that, we can go and, oops. We can sort of add those back in there again. So now if we rewind this, play this. You can sort of get an idea of how to animate with this. This is just using a keyframe animation, for what we're doing here. And that's a solid way of getting this stuff knocked out too. Okay, so let's talk about a different way. And I hope everybody's got it, and you can play around with this. And this is so you can sort of move your images. So if you have a panning, a tilting shot, and you're moving it around or zooming in or something like that, we're showing you how to do the keyframes to get this sort of animatic done, and get this thing knocked out for yourself. Okay. So if that makes sense, let me just make sure you can see these things. So again, we're just panning here, zooming in on the character, doing keyframes, or if we're doing a cycle of some sort of animated guy jumping or something like that. Okay, so cool. So let's just say we're going to do something different now. We're going to turn that off. Okay. But we're going to leave this base letterbox and grayscale in the background. Okay, so we have something out. We have a video timeline too. And I should be able to go to Layer, Video Layers, and we can create a new blank video layer. Okay, so let's pop this guy right here. And we're going to leave it right there. Okay, and what's cool about the video layer is you can work quicker as an animator. So, and it would work with every frame that you're working on here. So if I was, drawing something here, and I'm trying to draw some sort of flame or something coming across. Maybe we just, or a lightning bolt. That disappears every frame I go forward. Okay, so let's see how that looks. So I sort of have like a laser blast. So if you look at it like this, we'll play that playback head. can sort of see it there. Okay, so it's going to play it frame by frame, and you're able to do frame by frame animation. We have it 12 frames a second here, so you can sort of see that sort of laser go through. And all we're doing is we're drawing each one. And if we're trying to draw some stuff too, we have, let me bring this up here. And so this is letting us sit there and draw on this actual timeline. Let me make sure we can see this. Give it a second here. So let it catch up. There we go. And what it is doing is that video layer that's right there, it's allowing us to show this laser beam coming through. Make sure we can see it like this. We can see that laser beam on that playback head. That's getting us like true animation in here too. Okay. The other thing we can do too with this is we can go over here and we can enable the onion skin tool. And what the onion skin tool is doing is it's showing me all the frames, you know. Yeah, and it's allowing me to go forward. And I can sit there and continue on that animation so you can sort of see. And then I can also, again, I can turn off the onion skinning and just see the actual animation that way. Just a simple, you can sort of get the idea. Okay, and with the onion skinning, like I said, we would enable the onion skinning. And then we could also go over here to the onion skinning settings. And what we're doing is we're going and using, we can see a frame before and after on the onion skinning. So right now I'm just using my cursor rudder, but you can also use your left and right mouse key, arrow key. That's what I'm using for. And to do that too, if you can't enable that, you would just enable your timeline shortcut keys, and that will give you your controllers left or right. Okay. So this onion skinning tool is a fun tool to be able to use to work on your animation. So I can sit there and add to that. So if I was able to go ahead and turn off that onion skinning, and just watch that animation like that. you know, you can sort of get the idea of how to do that too. So yeah, use that again. You can use your arrow keys either way, and if they're not working properly for you, you would just come up over here and enable timeline shortcut keys, you know, for that. The other thing you can do too, so if I have a frame in here that I wasn't happy with, and maybe I just want a blank frame before the before this what do you call it, fire blast. I can go to this shot here, I think, and then go ahead and go into layer, go into video layers, and I can insert a blank frame right there, and that should give me like a second before that blast hits. You know what I mean? So you could add frames within there. So as I'm coming through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blank, 8, you know, like that. And you can do something like that. And that was simply by going over to layer and then go into your video layers, and you can insert a blank frame, you can duplicate a frame, you can delete a frame. You know, there's a lot of actions that you can do within that sequence there to have some fun with it. So cool. I hope you guys are having some fun with this, and you can, you know, you can do a lot with this this tool and have some fun with it. So I hope you're enjoying this particular how-to lesson. There's a lot of dynamic range, you know, and a lot of people don't know they can animate in Photoshop, and gives you some great skill sets to have some fun, whether you're doing pretty much like a cell animation, or if you are doing a keyframe type of animation. So again, with using the layers, then you can sort of do a keyframe animation. And that might be perfectly fine for your storyboards of what you're trying to do. That might give you all the necessary power to get that animatic done for yourself. Or there might, and then you could also interlace between the two of the sort of when you do the video layer, and being able to draw every cell in a sense that way on that timeline. And you could use them both together. So sometimes you might have a keyframe, maybe you have a blast or something that are going on. You know, you can do a few different ways you can move stuff. You know, in terms of your shots and how to get that done. So I hope this has given you some great knowledge, and sort of taking a different look at Photoshop of what you can do to create these simple things, you know. And like I said before, I enjoy stretching some of the boundaries on what I can do with Photoshop, because I like seeing the movement and stuff. I want to see the moving image. I want to see it, how it plays out, you know. You know, you're sort of in that pre-visualization, sort of previs of what you're trying to do. And there's plenty of work out there for folks that are editing the storyboards as well. You know, whether you're in Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, or other studio editing software, so you can edit all these storyboards. And I think there's a lot to it as a future animator, future storyboard artist, or filmmaker, that you can use some of these tools to rock your work. And again, if you're enjoying this live stream, you know, please subscribe, and don't forget to like and drop a comment on this particular video if you're enjoying yourself. I'm going to go and we're going to play around with this now that we have some basic tools that we can play with. I'm gonna go a little bit further and stretch this a little bit more with some stuff we can do here, and have some fun with it. So I'm gonna take a sip of my drink, and while I'm doing that, you could watch that video again for what we're doing. Okay, so cool. Okay, so we can do a combo of these different things as well. Let me shrink this down a little bit. This is down here on the bottom of the screen. You can see myself enlarging or shrinking the view here. Because the other thing I can do too, let's see, okay, let's add these both together so you can sort of see everything on. We don't really have a nice sequence, but let's just see here. So don't forget to use that onion skin too. Okay, sort of about right there. We can shrink this video layer to like right there. And then we can grab all these. This video layer should, oops. Try that one more time. Let's grab this video layer, put it right there. And then we're going to grab all these bad boys. We can sort of put this all together. And we could watch it all as one. We could turn this back on. Okay, so let's sort of see everything. Put together. So everything we're playing around with and different strategies to get your work done. Sort of get the idea there. Cool. Well, let's get a little bit more complicated in terms of what we're doing here. So I'm going to call this art 1. Okay. Okay, this is the one we had with the girl that we were drawing. Okay. And so what we're going to do okay, so we brought her up again. Okay, so let's not see her. Just see what I had drawn already. Some ideas here. Let's do something like this. Okay, let's play around with this a little bit in terms of what we're doing here. I'm gonna delete a few of these layers here. Let's go ahead and delete that out. Good. I'm glad, Brodum. Ezra, thanks so much for joining in. Appreciate you hanging out. And I know you got to get going, but appreciate it. Yeah, check back in. Get back into the replay. Once this is done, I'll have it up there on my YouTube channel, and you could watch the rest of it. I'm going to probably go for another 10, 15 minutes real quick, see if we can do this quick little sequence of some. I have a sort of a jungle scene and some ships flying by and using what we're learning here today. So let me see what we can do here, friends. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call this background, and it shows you some ideas. But again, Rodham, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate you. So before I get into the timeline, let's go ahead and sort of work with this real quick. I can quickly throw it together so you get some ideas of what to do on your projects. Okay, so cool, let's get a background. Thinking of some sort of forest structure. In terms of just thinking of some sort of jungle. Try and curate this real simple here in terms of what we're doing. Just thinking real quick. You can sort of get an idea. Let's turn our background layer a little bit darker there. So do it like that. Let's do it like this. Can work a little bit quicker here, just to I'm just trying to show real quick how you could use let's just do one more layer in here. Something like that. Okay, so we got like that. And so if we get these we just quickly have these together. We're just going to create a group here. I'm going to call this background. Okay, let's just draw. Turn that layer back on again. Add a layer. Let's just quickly we have some sort of bounty hunters that we're working with right now, and draw this. This ship type device here. Yep. Try that one more time. all we're just doing is drawing some foreground images. These background guys. Let's try to get this knocked out real quick so we can finish up the stream. Okay, let's just go like that. Add one more layer on there. So what we can do is tone this one down. And then simply trying to quickly work. Just adding some dimension to this. So that looks okay. And so let's grab just say ship. Okay, so let's go back over here. Add that into our ship. Okay, so we have a quick little sequence we're going to do here. So we have the background here, or excuse me, we have the background, and then we have the ship. Oop, okay. And what we can do here is let's go ahead and bring up our window. And we're going to go into timeline. Like we said before, we have our timeline. Make sure that pops up for us. See if that pops up, cool. Just watching my monitor here to make sure that you guys can see that. Yep, got it, cool. We're gonna hit the create video timeline. Boom, creates the video timeline here. And we're looking at the ship. And we're looking at these two structures here. In terms of what we're doing, it looks like we got some trouble with the group here. So let me just do a quick save as. Call it 2. And one of the things I'm going to do real quick is let's delete group only, so we got all that stuff back. And then so all I'm going to do is I'm going to create that as ship. do the same thing over here with the background. I'm just going to merge those together too. So I have the background and the ship. Okay, so we have that going on. So let's, our background is going to be longer. So is that. And our letterbox here. Okay. And then we have our ship. And sort of what we can do from there is we're going to duplicate that ship. And we're going to go from that ship before. I want to edit that ship. I want to transform it, scale it. Cool. I'm going to duplicate that ship again because we're going to show that ship moving. This is our keyframe animation. All I'm doing is manipulating that ship. Right there. And we'll duplicate that. Cool, let's duplicate that one more time. Okay, let's get that really big. Duplicate that one more time from there. Okay, so we have it like this here. And so what we can do now is go and sequence these. Sort of as keyframes. We should be able to see the ship going through there. Like that. Oops. Move that out of the way. One more thing here. Okay. So we should be able to see that timeline now. We have our ship coming through. And you can sort of see that sequence up. And there might be too many frames. If we want to speed that ship up, we can do that too. This is more, like I said, a keyframe animation. In terms of how we're doing this. You can see me manipulating the timeline, manipulating how many frames per image. So let's drop that down. Let's rewind. Now you can see that ship coming through there. Okay. Then two, we can manipulate this by grabbing our key items, just dragging them to the playhead real quick. We'll just leave it like right to there so we can see that background like that. So again, if I have the playhead, I can play with that real quick, and you can sort of see the ship flying along. And I can make it even faster if I wanted to in terms of what I was doing. If I want to too, we were talking about that other throwing in there, maybe on this layer or somewhere around. We could add a layer, go to video layers, add a new blank video layer, and now we can add maybe even some, you know, effects into that. You can sort of see. You can sort of see we're doing that. That cell animation. I'm just getting bigger and bigger. Okay, so let's take a look and see how that goes. And all we did was use the video layer here, and we're merging the two together. So let's sort of see how this looks. The computer's a little slow here. So you got the idea here of what we got going on. We could speed up the timing and stuff, but this gives us like a cool little effect using multiple layer types, either keyframe animation of the ship moving through and using more of a cellular animation showing the dust and the only thing I would do with this is speed it up just a tad bit and have that ship going right through, so we can have some fun with it. But it gives you an idea of how to use Photoshop for animation in terms of what we're doing. Cool, let's watch that sequence one more time. Turned out pretty cool. Cool, awesome, good stuff. Well, that was a fun tutorial. I hope you had a good time with it and learning how to use Photoshop to animate. And we showed you a few different ways. We showed you, how to draw these things in Photoshop. We showed you sort of a keyframe style using your layers as keyframes through your animation sequence using the Photoshop timeline. We also showed you how to do we showed you how to do some quick pans, and you can use that for pans, tilts, keyframe animation. You can do a little bit of tweening to get your shots for what you're needing. You also were showed how to do a video layer and pretty much do a cell by cell animation, in which we took this last one where we took that ship and we just created all sorts of atmospheric smoke and stuff off of that ship to have some fun. Again, if you enjoyed tonight's episode and our live stream here, please consider subscribing. Super appreciate that, and it helps build the channel. We're already 1,000+ strong right now. Let's continue growing this channel together. If you enjoyed this particular video, go ahead, drop a like, and just a quick comment, or even if it's just a happy emoji. I'd super appreciate it. It helps tell that YouTube algorithm, hey, we want to see more work from Polly. If you enjoyed tonight's lesson as well, go ahead. I have over 75 other live streams for you to choose from, and have some fun with it. Either watch them all or watch the ones that would get you the best value to help you and your visual storytelling journey. This is your story, and I'm trying to help you be able to tell yours either through storyboards, comics, animation, and filmmaking. So again, thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. I'm just going to go through the list of everybody that was hanging out real quick. I got Mammoth17. Thanks for hanging out. Super appreciate you dropping a quick little line. I hope this was helpful to you. And I got Rhoda Mesra. Thanks so much for popping in. Johnny, again, thanks for popping in. E-Boy, thanks so much. Appreciate you hopping on tonight. Buddha Belly, always a pleasure to have you on board, my friend. And Wolf Midnight, always a pleasure, my friend. So again, thanks for watching. And if you're catching this on the replay, hey friends, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time and out of your busy day to watch my content and support the channel. I will see you, today is Monday, so I will see you on Thursday for Sketching After Hours. Looking forward to it. And till then, I'll see you in the next video. I'll leave you with my contact information as well. So if you want to get in touch with me, I'll be happy to. Anyways, let me leave you with that. Have a great night, everybody.